All right, hello guys. It is Saturday, October 1st. It's a beautiful day, and I'm inside playing chess for your benefit. So we got a big match today. I'm playing Grandmaster Tal Baron of Israel. This is a dual commentary match, so you're in the right place for the next probably hour and a half, maybe 2 hours or so. Hoping that the stream is booting up here. Give me a shout out in the chat. Let me know that you can hear me and you can see me all right as usual. We got some early fire emojis from Patrick. I'm going to need those today. I'm going to need your guys' support, as always. Hello, Steiner. Hello, Anton. Hello, Lucas. Drumming. Firmly Grasp It. It's a weird username. Toby, Christian. Hairless Churchman. Stefanolio. Kazi. Hello to Kazi, friend of the channel. I saw Tony Rowe in there earlier, too. Oh, man. Mr. Commentor. Jason Smith. There's so much enthusiasm, I can barely keep up with the chat. Awesome. How you guys doing today? Thank you for tuning in, whether it's midday for you if you're here in the US, whether it's evening in Europe, some other part of the world. I know I've got some dedicated Aussie fans because you guys talk in the chat a lot and you're always commenting on my videos. So good day to you guys as well. And also other fans from around the world. I don't want to neglect people from like South America, Asia, wherever you may be. Maybe you're on an island remotely in the Pacific. Thank you for tuning in. So just to recap what's going on today, I'm playing a match with Grandmaster Tal Baron of Israel. The link to his stream, because it is a dual commentary, we're both talking about the games as we play them, is down below. So I know you guys are going to want to watch my stream, but if you want to check out his as well, you can pull that up. If your internet connection is solid, you can watch both streams at the same time. That's always interesting. So we're playing on Lee Chess, as you can see here. And it is a first to 5 points match. So draws count, first to 5 points. We're playing a time control of 3+2 blitz, 3 minutes with a 2-second increment. So the games will be fairly fast, although that 2-second increment does make a big difference in my experience. So the element of just flagging someone will probably not be present. I mean, there'll be time pressure, no doubt, but it's difficult to purely rely on the flag when there's a 2-second increment. 1 second maybe, but 2 second is generally enough of a buffer. Although I have flagged with 2 second. I flagged with 30-second increment before, but that's not going to happen today. 10 o'clock p.m. in India, says Vaibhav. Thank you. Yeah, we got a lot of Indian fans as well. Chess is just huge over there, so I very much appreciate you guys tuning in. Christian says hello from Sweden. Christopher is catching his first live stream. How many are watching, asked Shreyas. Right now we have 225. And I've been streaming for like less than 5 minutes. So excellent numbers. I always appreciate any likes or especially any shares if you share this stream and just let people know that, hey, there are guys out there doing fun chess streams and whatever your level you can tune in and it's entertaining. I mean, I have non-chess friends that ask me when I'm going to stream and when I'm playing my next match just so they can watch. They know nothing about chess. Probably the best that they can do is just count the pieces on the edge of the board. That's how they determine who's winning, but they like the drama that's involved in these matches. Awesome. Yeah, we got international fans. We got people from all over. That's what I love about chess. It's such an international game. Just look at all the countries and places represented in the chat there. George, there's probably a bit of a lag on this stream. I set it as low as possible, but it takes a while to get from, like my screencaster to YouTube and then to you guys. So 30-second lag sounds about right. I hope it's not that long. It could be a little shorter. 15 to 30 seconds maybe. Team Scandy in the house. Okay, let's play one quick warm-up game. I was playing one earlier right here just to make sure that everything is working smoothly. I am in contact with Tal on Skype, so we're going to start in like less than 10 minutes. Let's just play a casual, we'll make it rated, why not, bullet game. I'm not going to play anything longer than 1 minute. I just want to get the tactical juices flowing. We're playing Chess Force. I have not been streaming much or recording videos on Lee Chess lately. It was actually giving my screen recorder, which is this program called XSplit, it was giving it problems for a while, and I don't know why exactly, but those seem to have been resolved. So I hope to get back to that. Let's try to undermine this center pawn, or this pawn on f5. I'm kind of weakening my king in the process, but I'm hoping that I get some nice activity out of this. I think he's going to take on f6 and then maybe go after my b7 pawn. But I get rook b8 in. It's no big deal, I don't think. His king side seems to be collapsing to some extent. Let's take here. Yeah, let's do that. I'm okay with just running with the king. And now we'll just develop. Probably he'll castle queenside. That's what I would do if I were him. But I'm going to do this move to try to force a queen swap, because now I'm attacking c2 and also the queen. I guess he can play queen g2 if he wants, or that move. Although he's kind of playing with fire, isn't he? Let's go rook b4. I want to get my other rook over and start attacking. Let's do this. Yeah, and try to send this rook over here and attack b2. That's the big plan. And then hide my king on the king side, like king f8, king g8, etc. Okay, let's give a check here. Hide the king. I'm going to back this up. Now I have ideas of bishop b4. I'm trying to set up, which he is putting a stop to. Now let's advance with these kingside pawns. I'm probably not going to outright checkmate him, but I have a bastion of pawns that I can tap into over here. Let's see if we can take like that. Let's bring this guy back. Boy, I'm slow, aren't I? Let's play g3 next move. Take that. Definitely take that guy. Okay, bring this up. Oh, man. It seems I'm slow. I'm probably going to lose this game. Okay, so I lost that game on time. Granted, there was no increment, but man, maybe I should play one more. Let's rematch him. I feel like I was a little slow there at the end. You guys get to see me bleeding bullet points before the real event happens. Let's take and play queen b3, attacking this pawn. Usually they go queen b6 here, and I'm going to pull this back. I have a history, guys, don't I, of actually losing the very first game that I play in a dual commentary match, but not actually the match itself. Like, I get my losses in before the match starts, which is very important, right? Like, if you're going to go down, you got to do it before the actual match begins. So I'm going after his light square bishop. I'm also trying to set up some knight takes d5 tricks. Let's do that, and then we'll take. I think this works out tactically. He'll probably take with his knight. So just trying to swipe a pawn here. The other thing is, I think when I'm streaming, I tend to lag a little more than usual. So that's another good reason that Tal and I are playing with increment. Okay, so I'm up a solid pawn right here. Just looking for a queen swap. I'm also up a ton of time. So this should be boding well for me. Let's go here. I'm going to try to swing my rook up to c5, I think. Try to get rook e5 in. It's kind of a cheapo, but... Ooh, is that a trap queen? Almost. He has to play queen d6. Swap off the queens. Now I'm going to try to do a minority attack. I'm going to get my queenside pawns rolling, if possible. Let's bring this here. Let's bring this back. Let's advance. Now we're going to break up his structure. We'll go here. Bring our king a little closer. I'm going to throw this in just to see if he was pre-moving. He was. Not sure what that move's about. He's just desperately trying not to flag. All right, so we won that game. 50 moves. I had 14 seconds left at the end. Crisis averted. Yeah, so I'm recording this in 30 FPS, not 60. Someone was asking about 60 FPS. I know that some YouTubers and video makers are moving towards 60 FPS. I always thought it looks kind of weird. It almost looks unnatural. Maybe we're just so used to viewing things in 30 FPS. I hope this isn't laggy, hairless churchman. My mouse is the same as usual. This mouse I've had ever since I started recording a couple years ago. It's like a noiseless gaming mouse. So I didn't do much particular prep for this match. I watch Tal's videos from time to time because he does post fairly often, mostly blitz videos with commentary. So I have an idea of what he plays, and I've thought in my head what my strategy will be throughout this match. The big thing I want to emphasize is aggression. You know, in that match that I lost with Jan Gustafsson, I think I was just too timid in that one, and I was deferring to my opponent's theoretical knowledge a bit too much and not entering some lines that were probably critical. And I'm not going to say I'm going to go all out theoretically because Tal is very strong in the openings department, but I'm not going to back down from an early confrontation or lines that my chess intuition are telling me are good. Because, I mean, that's a good lesson for everyone. You got to trust yourself in a chess game, in a match, in a tournament, any competition. You got to trust yourself. That's all you have. You have yourself and your thought process. So if you start to doubt yourself and you begin to do things differently than what you would do against, say, a lower rated player, just because your opponent's higher rated, that's bad. And even good players can kind of slip into that mindset of deferring to their opponent's knowledge. Hello, the Chopper, Nicholas, Nick Mata, good to see you. Thank you, Nosberto. Yeah, this is my lucky shirt, by the way. I'm not hugely superstitious, but you guys know I like the color blue. Are you really in Antarctica? Because that would be impressive. Ah, Tebow. And Tebow, by the way, is the creator of LeeChess.org. Thanks to Tebow, he has done a great service to the chess community with this wonderful site. I want to give a quick plug to LeeChess because it is such a spectacular site, and Tebow and all the other people involved in LeeChess have made a pledge to make this site free, which I think is tremendous. So, yeah, sorry about that, Tebow. I didn't have LeeChess.org in the description. I don't know if you can change it manually, but if not, no big deal. Parviz, come on. Someone can answer that question in the chat. Okay, so we're right at the top of the hour. We've got 415 people watching. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Stay put for the next hour, hour and a half. We'll see how long the match goes. Just to recap very briefly, I'm playing Grandmaster Tal Baron. He is also streaming if you want to check out his stream. And it's a match to 5 points. The first to 5 points, draws do count. Time control is 3 plus 2 blitz. 3 minutes with a 2-second increment. I'm just going to send Tal a message letting him know that I'm good to go. Hey, Vincent. Good to see you. Skate Empire as well. Yeah, I understand Atrophied. I'm not going to mess with it because I'm afraid to like touch anything. I seem to be streaming okay right now, and changing the title, while I could probably do it, it might mess things up. All right. Let me send Tal a challenge. He said he's good to go. Standard 3 plus 2. Or are we making this rated? I don't know. We'll make it rated. We're playing for high stakes here, guys. Game 1 of the match coming up. I'm excited. Oh, I've got my coffee too. You guys know I got my Starbucks. As a side note, Starbucks USA, please get at me. We can negotiate a sponsorship deal. I'm flexible. Okay, so I have white in the first game. Let's open with d4. And good luck to Tal. See if he goes with the Nimzo. He is a big Nimzo Indian player. So this is probably not like completely unexpected to him what I'm doing right here. I'm going to play knight f3 and stay a little flexible. Previously, Tal and I played a game where I played queen c2, an over-the-board game at the London Chess Classic back in December. You can find that video on my channel. And a very early capture here. That's interesting. Okay, okay. I'm going to fianchetto this bishop. I'm already out of book, but let's fianchetto the light square bishop. As I mentioned time and time again, Tal is very solid in the openings. Like, he's difficult to take down in the opening department. So, you know, I gotta be cautious about that, but again, I can't defer to his knowledge all the time. Let's play d5. So my idea here is if pawn takes, I'm going to go knight h4 and then try to win the pawn back. I don't really want my light square bishop opposing his light square bishop in the long run. I'd like to block it out of the game with this move. Granted, I do give up control of the c5 square, though, so he could make a case for playing knight c5, just diving in. Fire emojis up in the chat. Okay, this is good. I've got him thinking a little bit. Black has a flexible structure, as you often see in the Nimzo Indian. He plays e5. Okay. Let's go knight h4. Try to sink this knight into f5. He might play g6 to stop me, but then I do gain the option of bishop h6, which I gotta believe is something. Maybe he'll end up playing queen e7 and castling queenside. I mean, it's possible. That would be intriguing if he did that. He's going to go kingside. Okay, so he's content with me getting my knight into f5. Do I want to play that right away? Or do I play some sort of finesse move first? Like e4 or f4? Knight f5, g6, knight h6 check, most likely. I feel that might be okay for him, so I'm kind of thinking I should hold off on that. Let's do... I'm going to do kind of a weird-looking move, but I have a purpose behind it. So bishop g5. I'm going to try to induce him to play h6 to weaken his king slightly. That's the plan. And if he attacks me, I'm going to pull the bishop, I think, back to d2 is what I'm going to do. So it doesn't block my pawn. My bishop is not going to be very well placed on d2, but at least I can keep my options open with e4 and f4, I'm thinking. Okay, he plays bishop c8. Flexible move. So e4, yeah, let's go for e4. Watch for his knight to come to c5. I think there's a strong possibility he's going to do that. And now let's play queen e2, just kind of connect my rooks together, guard these two pawns that are potentially weak. That 3 minutes goes by really fast, doesn't it? Let's put the bishop on d2. So if I could get f4 in the future, that would be awesome. Might be tricky to do, though, especially if he plays a move like rook e8. Yeah, rook e8 was played. Makes a lot of sense. Let's play this over. Just overprotect. Kind of building up on this side of the board. h3 or something else. h3 might be useful. I'm also thinking maybe bishop c1 to a3 even. I want to get in f4 at some stage, but with his rook opposing my queen, that's going to be tough. Like, no doubt about it. Queen d7, weird looking move. Yeah, I think he wants the queen in here. Okay, so let's do this now. I'm going to go for this f4 idea. I think I kind of have to. Yeah, so let's take and go for f4. Don't think I can mess around much longer. And he might win this pawn. I'm pretty much just giving him this pawn. But my hope is that I have plenty of compensation on the other side of the board. So let's take this now. If bishop takes, I'm going to have to play like queen f2 or queen e3. Queen f2 or queen f3. Takes with the rook. Okay. So he's just staying solid. Let's go here. So he can take this pawn, but I'm not going to completely sack my rook on f1. I'm hoping I can get some play out of this. Yeah, like now maybe this move. And I even have an idea of bishop f1. And taking on f6 too. Granted, I'm down 2 pawns, however, so that has to be kept in mind. Let's go here, just see what he does. Whether he checks on c1 or plays something else. He's behind on the clock. Ah, good move by him. It's going to force a queen trade, I think. Yeah, I got to go back, and then he's got queen d4, doesn't he? Annoying. Very annoying. All right, so now I think I got to shift gears a little bit and try to attack over here. But admittedly, now I'm just down material. I'm down 2 pawns. That didn't pan out how I would have liked it. Let's go here. Don't know if I should let this d pawn survive. Quite honestly. It would be really nice to pick that pawn off. Like d3 is probably a good move for him. Yeah, he played it. Take here. I'm going to try it. Oh, he pre-moved the capture. He knew it was coming too. So I desperately want to pick off this pawn. I really, really want to do that. So I'm going to get behind it for now. Let's bring our king up a little bit. But the thing is, I also don't want to lose e4. Like, losing e4 would be annoying. Okay, let's bring this up. Ah, giving him a chance to play f5. That was not smart of me. All right, I'm going to bring my king up even more aggressively here. Again, he could play f5. f5 is a good move here. But I didn't see too many alternatives for me. Okay, let's take here. Blockade, I guess. This is ugly, though. Okay, let's go after that pawn, I suppose. See which one he takes. He takes that. Okay, I guess I'll go here, but he can play rook takes, maybe. Check. Let's go here. And if I take, he just pushes, huh? If I take, he pushes. All right, I guess I gotta go here. Yeah, even that works, though. Now the pawn's gonna get through. Okay, so let's give a check. Problem is, I think he can just win my bishop. Be surprised if he could not. Yeah, like queen d4 should be working now for him. Queen e4 probably. And now queen c2. Yeah, okay. So we lose that game. I think it's resigns time for me. That was a nice game by Tal. I think he defended well against my kingside initiative. I felt like I had something going there with right around this position. Like bishop back to c1, bishop a3, and then taking on c5. But he defended very resourcefully. And I never quite got through. Maybe I have to sacrifice just ASAP right here. Like rook takes f6 if I want to get something going. Take, and maybe knight f5, which does threaten here. Although I feel like he can always give back the exchange and play rook takes f5. Kind of the problem for white in these types of positions is that if my attack does not succeed, I'm just going to lose on the queen side. He's going to scoop up c4, which is weak, and there it goes. So that happens. First game, we lose. It's unfortunate to lose with white, but, you know, you got to take it in stride. I didn't feel like this was a bad game necessarily. I had my chances. This was a nice maneuver by him, like after rook e3 checking on a1 and then playing the queen back to d4. That was nice. Okay, game 2. I'm black. All right, d4, d5. Let's do this. I'm just sticking with this setup early on. I'm going to play e6, actually, and go for the semi-Slav. I've been playing a lot of d takes c4 as well. Okay, so Tal plays this line. Let's see how much I remember about this. I think I want to play b5. Let's see if he castles. He does. Let's go here. So bishop to b7, knight e5. Okay. I think I should play queen b6 against this move. I'm going to do that. So reinforcing c6 and also b5 is the plan. And I know white often stabs with a4 here, looking to kind of weaken black structure. And just thinking what I want to do against that. I think the move is a5 for black. I think I should push this pawn up here if white were to play a4. So again, I got him thinking early, but he's possibly just trying to remember his analysis. Thanks, Libby. Doing my best. b3 instead. Okay. I think I just got to take that. Sometimes white does resort to b3 in order to gain some compensation. Okay, maybe just knight bd7 here. It'd also be interesting to play c5 and just try to swap the light square bishops. Is that premature? c5? Kind of asking for d5 to be played, maybe, in that case. c5, though, is a highly desirable move. I mean, if I could get that move in, that would be nice. Seems a bit premature. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to play this. Just develop. And with a base time control of 3 minutes, I don't think I should be going into any long thinks, honestly. Like, I think that's foolish to do so. Okay, so maybe c5 now. Again, I'd really like to achieve this move if I could. Let's do it. Offer the trade of the light square bishops. And now he can't play d5 because I have knight takes e5. That's very important to note. He could play knight takes knight, then d5, but then I can play e5 and close it up, and I should just be up a solid pawn, I believe. Does take. Let's see how he resolves all this tension. The tension between the two pawns and the tension with the bishops, too. Yeah, he's going to push. I don't think I want to play b4, just mainly due to knight a4, so we'll play it this way. Now, granted, he's got a strong pawn, but I'm ahead of pawn in the position. Also, I have a 3-1 queenside majority. That's got to be worth something. He might play knight e4. No, he's going to go queen there. Okay. So force me to burn a tempo just defending this guy, I suppose. Anything else I can do? Not really. Yeah, let's just play a6. Just keep it solid. Keep it salad. Got a time edge. He's going to be playing bullet. Let's just go bishop e7 against this. I know he could play d6, but I'm going to pull the bishop back to d8 and kind of just crouch for a little bit. Maybe he wants to go knight c3 to d5. That's a maneuver I would consider if I were him. Maybe queen here. Queen c6. Yeah, let's try it. So trying to exploit this long diagonal. He can't move his knight. Plays f3. Okay. Well, now if I wanted to, I could castle. Bishop takes d7 take. He gets the pawn back, but I feel that should be good for me. Ah, no. Okay, there's c5 to consider. Let's play... Thinking about bishop b6. But I'm not sure I want to play it right away. Bishop b6. Okay, let's do it. And almost certainly he'll play king h1. Just a little worried now that my bishop is no longer controlling the g5 square. That's the one thing that concerns me about this. Yeah, therefore, let's play this move. I know it's not the most attractive looking move, but I think I should put a stop to that issue. Yeah, he plays a solid move. Let's play this in reply. I don't want to just give this pawn up. He was threatening to take, queen takes, knight takes, c5. So he can win the pawn back whenever he wants, like take and then bishop takes e5, but then I do get to castle, at least. And I feel like my two bishops should be quite powerful there. Ooh, wow. That's a nifty move. It might work, too. Okay, I can't calculate it, so I'm going to take, but he's going to go b4 now. Let's play this. Try to attack him in the center. This is really sharp all of a sudden. Can I take? Yeah, I think I can. Queen d5. I think I got a castle, guys. Trying to gain some counterplay somehow, like knight e5, but man, these pawns are tough. These connected pawns. Can't move f4, that's important. Let's play f6. We're going to go here. He's probably going to go for f4, I imagine, and open the position. I've got some fun stuff, it looks like, if that happens. Time scramble. He's got to make a move. Let's hide this. I'm not going to move the knight yet. Let's go here. Let's hide that. I'm going to see if I can get him to take. Ooh, check. Win his queen. We got the queen. And he immediately resigned. Okay. Wow. I think that's how a lot of these games could go, honestly. Like, it will be pretty close throughout the game, and then that 3 minutes, like I said, it ticks by so fast that you can easily get into time scramble situations like this in a sharp middle game. I mean, the game ended on move 34. So this is a line I have seen Tal play. So I had a sneaking suspicion like he might go for this. White sacrifices a pawn. I feel like I was doing a good job of preventing him from getting compensation. But he came up with some resourceful ideas, especially this whole rook c1, knight takes c5 issue. You know, it's quite possible that h6 is a little bit too slow. I don't know if I can afford that move. But my dilemma was, I thought if I castled here, he would take on d7 and then maybe play knight g5. I guess I can't play that in this mode, but I thought he might get knight g5 in, so I was trying to restrict that. All right, thanks for the support, guys. Let's keep going. 1-1 in the match. Game 2. Let's go back to d4. You guys know I like to play d4 and knight f3 on move 1. Those are kind of my mainstay moves. Feels good to get that first point on the board. Like, that's just so crucial when you're playing a match, especially a close match. You know what? I'm gonna let him do this line again. I don't feel so poorly about this line. He switches it up this time, though. Okay. So b6. I'm going to play queen c2. And by the way, in my d4 repertoire on Chessable, the free d4 repertoire, I do recommend a different system. On the white side of the Nimzo, I recommend 4 queen c2. I'm not playing that just to kind of surprise him because I'm fairly certain that he knows I like the queen c2 Nimzo. So I'm trying to mix it up and maybe catch my opponent slightly off guard, if you will. That's very important in a match. Okay, so can I go for the fianchetto? I think I'm going to try. Try to put the bishop on g2 and go from there. I mean, Tal might be able to do something aggressive in the center. Yeah, he plays d5. This makes a good deal of sense, I feel. But let's just keep developing. So if he takes here, queen takes. Because black does have a development lead right now. You can see he's castled, I'm not. So he might be trying to strike quickly in order to highlight that lead in development. Yeah, like now it's looking likely he's going to try to go for a quick rook c8 and c5. Let's castle. I need to castle, no doubt about that. If rook c8, maybe b4 is an option. b4, c5, d takes c5, b takes c5, b5. That could be maybe my best bet. It's going to go here immediately. Okay. Certainly possible. Take is my first instinct. So I think I'm going to do it. Granted, he can take with the knight. But what do I play then? b4, probably. I need to develop my dark square bishop, so bishop f4 also comes to mind. But b4, maybe get the bishop on the long diagonal, is the most promising. Bishop f4, he's just going to play rook c8, I think. Although, maybe his queen experiences a few problems in that setup. Maybe not. Maybe not. But b4, he can play bishop d5, can't he? Okay, let's go bishop f4. I feel a little bit better about this one for some reason. I also have to keep in mind bishop a6. He might go there to hit my queen and the pawn behind it, although I will just pull the queen back to c2. Bishop d5, okay. So now I think I have to play queen b4. Queen c2 also may be possible, but queen... Yeah, queen b4 seems better. Gotta watch my time as well. If a5, maybe queen b5. This can happen frequently in lines of the Nimzo. You're kind of dancing around with your queen as white and trying to hold on to your major asset, which is the bishop pair. So I'm hoping I can coordinate my pieces and eventually try to go to work with that pair of bishops, but he's not going to make it easy. Yes, Jordan, you are on TV. Congratulations. Tal is thinking. I wonder if it's reasonable for him to play bishop takes f3, bishop takes f3, knight d5. Trying to fork my queen and dark square bishop. I could always play bishop takes d5, but then I wouldn't have my 2 bishops remaining. He's thinking a very long time on this move. I don't know if there's much to purely calculate. There's not any tactics I see. If knight b3, I just play rook d1. I don't think he's going to trap my queen. At least on this move. Queen c8. So I think he's going for queen to b7. Yeah. That's a sneaky idea, and probably a good idea, too. Bishop d6, rook d8. Not seeing much there. But maybe rook c1 and then bishop d6? Let's try that. So we're going to hound his queen. And if queen b7, bishop d6... I guess he has rook c8, bishop takes c5, pawn takes. I can take with the rook. I don't end up winning anything, though. Ah, he plays that first. Okay, so a little bit of a finesse. Maybe bishop g5 now. Maybe I kind of pivot and start attacking his king. I'd rather attack his king in a time scramble situation than like an area of the board, like, you know, his pin knight on c5. Always more pleasant to go for the king. Okay. So I think I see what he's going to do. So let's first take. And play the queen over. I think he's going to go queen e7. No, knight e4. Okay. A surprise. So rook over or something else. Let's play the rook over first. But is knight g5 an issue? No, knight g5 is not working for him. Okay, so now I'm going to take. And then I think play knight d4. This is my big plan. Let's go there. So bishop takes e4 is now a threat. He has knight g5. Maybe bishop f1 in that case. Just retain the bishop. Hard to say who's better there. Yeah, I'm going to retain this piece. I'm going to keep it and maybe keep f4 in mind. It's a way to attack him. Let's go here. If he plays here, I have check on f5, importantly. He's low. He's down on time. It's very, very low. Queen c7. Knight f5 check is playable. Do I want to cash in right away? He's so low on time. Yeah, I think I should, though. I'm going to do it. Whoa, he instantly played that. Okay, let's go here. h4? Is your knight, like, trapped? I think his knight is trapped. My queen is also not looking the healthiest, though. Oh, man. But I think I escape. I think I get here, fortunately. Let's take this. Let's go here. Bishop h3 was maybe stronger. Let's go bishop h3. And then we're going to go here. Both very low on time now. Gotta hurry. He might win that pawn. I have an initiative, though. Bishop f5 check coming next. Check. And then here, maybe? Maybe he could play bishop takes f3. I don't know. I couldn't calculate it. Can I go here? Try to trap his knight. That might be a trapped knight. He's going to sack the exchange to try to get out of there. Now let's just focus on advancing our b pawn. Let's do this. Get out of the pin. Threatening to bring this up. Okay, I think I'm winning now. My b pawn is quite strong. Yeah, and he just resigned. All right, another time scramble. You know, I think one thing that helped me out a lot in that game was what I said earlier. I was attacking his king, and he was having to come up with creative defenses. It got very dicey. I thought for a moment that my queen was going to get trapped when he played h5. Right here on move 27. Because, you know what would have been really clean here? I should have just traded queens right now. Queen takes c7, rook takes c7, h4. That knight's out of squares. I win. Yeah, so by playing h4 first, I did give him a chance, even though the knight still is lacking squares, to play e5 and then try to chase my queen around. And then he does gain the use of the h7 square to drop his knight back to. So he is, like, kind of surviving at this point. Yeah, these games are tough, man. Someone said this is insane. I agree. Like, this time control is perfect. I really like 3+2. I gotta say. It's like the perfect time control for getting serious games, but also there's a lot of excitement. There's no wonder it's the FIDE time control, the official FIDE time control. You know, after this, it was a time scramble. I'm quite sure I didn't make the most of my opportunities here, but I was up a pawn. My king was very safe. His structure being damaged and also him having weaknesses like on f5 was very helpful. But Tal is very resourceful when he gets down low on time. Like, he kind of fakes you out. Like, he ticks down to 2 or 3 seconds, and then all of a sudden he starts playing very fast. And you're almost not expecting it. Fortunately, I was able to find this maneuver, whereupon his knight has serious issues. That's a classic corralling of the knight. His knight has no good squares it can go to. They're all taken away by the bishop. And also with this issue, I think he's probably just losing here. Maybe bishop takes f3 was possible in that position. I don't know. Okay, so let's see if he repeats and plays d4 again, or if he's going to switch it up. I think I'm going to stay with that same line I played last time. I mean, seemed to work out all right for me. Oh, he's switching it up a bit. Okay. Well, let's play bishop f5 in this case. And see what he's up to in this line. e6. So I got my bishop outside the chain. What is this? Okay, I don't know what this line is about, so I'm just going to play here. I could be the victim of some Tal home cooking in this game, but hopefully not. Okay, so bishop b4 probably doesn't make much sense. Bishop d6, maybe. Yeah, let's play bishop d6. I just want to make sure if the knight ever comes to f4 that I can take it. That might be his big idea. To try to play knight f4 and then like h4, h5. Okay, so he attacks that pawn. I feel like I should play queen c8. Queen c7 also possible, but I kind of want to keep the c7 square open for my bishop if it actually needs to go there. You know, queen b6 is also possible too. But nah, he has c5 in that case. Trade. That should favor white. Let's play queen c8. Seems a little cowardly, but I think I'm all right here. I think this is completely fine. I might even develop this knight to e7. Like knight d7, knight e7, and just kind of chill. Is he thinking about e4? A quick e4. Knight d7, e4. He'll have a space advantage in that case. Okay, let's go here. I'm just going to put the knight on the normal square. I'm kind of goading him into playing this move, but maybe knight h5 in that case is possible. I don't want to develop too passively, just in the case that he does advance in the center. I think knight fd7 is pretty lame here, so I'm going to play knight h5. There's a mild fear that the knight is out of play over on this wing, but now if he ever advances e4, at least he's weakening the f4 square. That'll be my contention. Okay, so now do I take on e4 or do I take on c4? Probably e4 is the more logical move, I would venture. So I'm going to do that. Not allow him to have both center pawns. Now let's just drop this guy back. This pawn. There's some funky stuff you could try here, right? Like swinging the queen over to h3, maybe trying to go here. That'd be interesting if he did that. The white g-pawn makes a really strange impression. It's so far up the board, but hey, it's not going to be easy to take advantage of. So he wants the half-open h-file, it seems. I think he also wants this square to work with. Okay, let's... Maybe I even play knight a6 here. Let's go knight a6. This is a little weird, but I'm going to try it. So trying to use this. He might just play a3 and keep me out. Okay, now I can throw in a check, but is it any good? Now, let's not think about it too much. So I'm lacking space, but I have relatively few weaknesses. Whereas he has some weaknesses in view of his advanced pawns, like d4 is weak, g5 could be weak. His king side in general is weak because he's moved the g-pawn. It's a sharp position nonetheless. Bishop d2, okay. So let's just castle now. He can't castle queenside because I got my bishop sitting here. Now he's probably going to try to rush me with his h-pawn. Yeah. I think I got to play this move anyway, so I'll do that. h4. Now, I think I should counterattack this guy real quick. Otherwise, yeah, h5 is going to be awfully annoying. Okay, rook, queen d7 or rook d8, one of those two moves. Let's play rook d8. I'm going to let him go h5 and then play bishop f5. So he's rushing me with everything he's got on the king side. Yeah, I gotta go here. Watch that time, John. Down a solid, like, 20 seconds. Let's pre-move that. So I'm banking on the fact that his d-pawn is weak after the trade. Otherwise, he has the bishops and a space advantage. I could be in some trouble. But if he trades and then plays bishop c3, he's going to go there. He's playing for the initiative. I think I got to take here now. It just feels right, so I'm going to do it. Attack that bishop. Now I have ideas of knight c5 too, so this could be interesting. Got to take his knight, that's clear. His queen is also defending this pawn, so he's got to be really careful. Queen h3 is a threat, though, isn't it? Okay, let's give a check here first. Probably just trying to coordinate, honestly. He's okay with a swap of the queens. Interesting. Let's do this. Really hard to say what's going on here. Very, very difficult. Let's do this. I kind of want to get rid of these g-pawns first before anything else. Like, getting rid of g7 would be a dream. If I could do that. Gotta move. Yikes. Okay, let's go here. Looking for a swap. Ah, I ran out of time. No. Oh. I was going to play e5. Oh, I flagged. Didn't realize how much time I had left. Ah. Yeah, got to play faster, John. Flagging. Inexcusable right there. That is a bummer. I froze up in this position. It is tricky. I have to defend. Like, that g7 pawn was giving me a lot of trouble, but I got to move faster. I just got to start moving when I get down that low. Ah, man. Because I had a good chance here. I feel like I was defending well. And then, boom, flag. I think I debated too long on whether to play take here or rook g4. That caught up to me. Too weak, too slow. I agree. Yeah. King e2 was a good move, connecting the rooks. I'm up a pawn here, but my knight is a far ways away from the position. And yeah, just I didn't figure it out in time. I kept looking at trying to play king f7, but he always has bishop h5 check in that case. So how to eliminate this pawn? Like, a trade of the dark square bishops would be really nice. That's what I was trying to do after rook takes g5. I was trying to set up bishop b4, but king e2 nicely avoided that. Sorry, guys. I let you guys down on that one. All right, so it's all tied up, 2-2. 2-2. More games to be played. You know, we're not going to lose heart. Interesting game once again, though. I mean, he came up with kind of a cool idea I've never seen before, but let's see. Do I play d4 again? Do I go back to the well? Let's do it again. Seems to be working, so we'll try to make some quicker decisions. I wonder if he'll deviate or if he's going to continue playing the Nimzo. We're just going to have a Nimzo discussion. Seems to be the case. Yeah, he was the first one to deviate last time, so let's see if he goes back to this. No, he's going to stick with this line. I was relatively pleased with the position I got out of this last time, so let's continue doing this. Play faster, John. Knight bd7. Yeah, again, I castled. He played c5 last time. And as I mentioned, I think rook c8 also makes sense here. He could definitely think about that move. Wow, almost 700 people watching. That's fantastic. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Okay, so he's playing it a little different this time. A little savvier, maybe. Yeah, bishop there. So if queen c2, c5 is coming once again. But this time I think his argument will be that I'll have more direct problems with the b3 square. And that's a decent line of thinking, I believe. So queen a4 maybe? Yeah, possibly queen a4. Let's do that. So that way of c5, my queen will be defending this pawn from the side, basically. That's what I'm thinking. Bishop f4 again, or something else. Bishop f4 is logical, I'd say. Got to watch out for tactics involving him pushing e5, but I don't think they exist right now. Rook d1 would also make a lot of sense. Let's play bishop f4. So again, I'm trying to squeeze something with the bishop pair. Sorry for those of you who are not inclined to positional chess. I know this, you're probably just tearing your hair out right now. Thanks, William. I think queen e7 would make a good deal of sense for black right now. As would maybe taking. Taking, I'll take with the queen. But again, I got to watch out for if he ever can play e5. Like take, bishop takes f3, bishop takes f3, e5. It doesn't work for him because a bishop takes e5, but I got to be heads up about that. Queen e7, yeah, he plays it. So now that idea is working for him. Take, and e5. So I got to take some sort of action against that. What to do? Knight e5, not going to cut it. I mean, if I have to trade the bishops, that doesn't seem right. Huh. Maybe rook e1? Rook e1 might be like too subtle though. Now I'm going to try it. This is a very weird idea, but I'm going to give it a shot. So my plan is if ever he does this to take with the e-pawn and try to pin him down the file. Okay, he more or less ignores that. He says, I'm not very impressed by your idea, John. Okay, now maybe I take and play queen b4. How about that? Again, he can go queen to b7 maybe. Not sure how impressive my last move was. All right, I'm going to try this, though. Probably queen b7. Yep, there it goes. Maybe bishop e3 now. Yeah, let's pull this back. Don't think it's doing much on f4. See if we can pressure this and maybe the pawn behind it. Rook c8, okay. Rook here. Any issues with a5, though? I'm still going to do it. I know he can play a5, but I'm going to swing my queen over to h4 in that case. Maybe try to play for an attack. So bishop takes c5 is threatened. I'll swing this over. Just the fear is that the queen is perhaps out of play over where it's currently at. My queen, that is. Maybe it's not so bad, though. Might be fine. Whoa, knight d3. That's a nice move. Didn't see that coming. I gotta take it. And now next I think I gotta preserve my bishop too. Could try to win his b pawn though, couldn't I? Take, take, bishop takes. Let's try that. I hope I don't have too many loose pieces here. My queen could be a little out of play, but my bishop does hold some nice stuff. Rook e3, maybe? Maybe? No, let's go here. And then if knight here, I'm thinking rook e4, perhaps. Wow, he's going to do that. Okay, let's attack his queen. Just see where he goes. Can I do this? Guess. Time pressure, mutual time pressure. Ooh, he blundered. He blundered checkmate. Wow, he played rook into b3 and I got queen takes d8 mate in. Whew. What's weird is I looked at him moving his rook down the board immediately before he did it, and it appeared on the board. Oh, man. Because I was checking to make sure I wasn't hanging my b2 pawn. So, yeah, I guess he was just coming in here to pressure this pawn. Wow. And all of a sudden, I got in mate. That's an abrupt ending to that game. Gee. Whoa. Okay, so things sharpened up in a hurry when he played knight to d3. That's an attractive move. And as I said, I didn't see this coming at all. Knight d3, forking my two rooks. I guess I could take on c8, maybe, and then try to move my rook, but that doesn't look correct. So I tried to kind of refute what he did. Take, take, and then go win the b6 pawn. The only thing is, my king is a little open, and I was worried about knight g4. He could play it now, or he could maybe try to play it like on this move. If he did it here, I was going to reply with rook e4 and try to dislodge his knight ASAP. Maybe h3 also comes to mind. Whoa. Yeah, and here, he's trying to get me to take on f6. I think he's playing for maybe a drawish rook endgame. Bishop takes, queen takes, g takes. And I'm up a pawn, but I've got weaknesses on b2 and d3. So as played here, yeah, he just blundered it away in one move. He is under some pressure here, though, I gotta say. I mean, I think g7, he's pinned this way. It's not so comfortable. Whew. All right, let's keep going. 3-2. We got black. This is a big game. This is a very big game. Anytime you can score with black in a match, it's good. And last game, losing that one on time was not up to my standards. Losing a game on time should never be up to your standards. That's cause for concern. Let's play this line again. I mean, I know that he had that G4 idea, but I feel like I can play it a little faster this time around, at least. Okay, knight e2. And this time, I played bishop d6 last time. I think I'm going to stick with that. And if queen b3, go queen c8 again. This just seems correct. Keeping this square open, just in case he plays c5 and he tries to clamp the position. Seems like a theme of our match so far is that Tal is diverging from the previous game before I do. Like, he's been taking the initiative in that regard. Deviating before me. Yeah, again, let's play knight h5. He's going e4. Okay. Yeah, and I took on e4 last time. Don't think there's any reason to do anything else. So yeah, let's play this again. Sure leads to a sharp position. And by the way, I'm sure you noticed this by now, but the score is in the bottom here. The running score of the match. Okay, so here I castled last time. Or did I play knight a6? Can't quite recall. Maybe I should play knight a6 first. Yeah, let's do that. Let's play this one first. We'll stay flexible with our king for one more move. Check. It's not going to be good, so yeah, take. So this was his idea last time. Knight g3, bishop g6, h4, h5. Try to rush me in the center. Plays bishop d2. So castling would transpose to our previous game. Queen d7 also comes to mind, but I don't like that one as much. I feel like I'm not truly threatening queen takes d4. Yeah, so let's castle again. Let's see if he goes h4. He does. Tal is very principled, I can tell. He does not seem to mind repeating some of these lines of play. Every chess player wants their ideas to work in a game, so I do this too. Like, sometimes I get attached to a certain line and I'll keep playing it till the cows come home because I think it's correct. And who knows in this case? It's up in the air. Maybe we'll find out afterwards. Okay, so that's a bit of a refinement. Guarding the pawn first. I feel like that does give me some extra options, though. But maybe not as many as I think. Yeah, that seems better than what he did last time. Now, granted, I can play bishop d3, but something about that move doesn't look right. Yeah, that can't be a good move. So I think he's just getting ready to castle, basically. I'd really like to play c5 here, but I can't. Due to bishop takes b7. Maybe rook b8? Is that, like, crazy? Looking for b5? Don't know if I have the time for that, though. Okay, I'm going to stick the bishop here prematurely, or immediately, I should say. One thing that might work in my favor is that now that his bishop is not defending this pawn, h5 could always entail dropping this pawn. That said, though, he might just take and then castle queenside and say, hey, what do you got? I have the bishop pair plus more space. He's going to go that way. Okay. Kind of want to keep my light square bishop now, but I can't see a good way to do that. All right, let's just connect our rooks. I'm down to 1 minute. I got to keep playing. Trying to use my queen to IG3, but we'll see how that works out. The thing is, my knight is terrible now, isn't it? Got to get that guy in play somehow. Bishop f8, maybe. Yeah, let's go here. Knight on a6. What have you done for me lately? If you play d5, that would be awesome. I could get my knight in the game, but not thinking that's going to happen. c5 now? Decent timing? Nah, probably not. Okay, let's play g6. Just be solid. Play the queen over. Even here, I can't go here because I would lose b7. So I might have to play rook b8 next move. Go there in order to prepare this. Yeah, and he's going to take this time to attack, which I think is smart. But let's still do this. We'll see if he stabs all the way to h6 with that pawn. It's going to make g5 weak, but as long as I control this, I feel like I should be all right, at least for now. It's dicey, though. I mean, he's got a big space advantage now, and his pawns are encroaching on my king quite quickly. I think I got to take that. Is he going to take with the bishop? I feel like that's likely. Maybe I can get some counterplay going. Knight b5, perhaps? Yeah, let's do that. Try to eliminate his dark square bishop. Pretty sure he wants to keep that piece. Yeah, he brings it back. Let's go here. Let's play f4 now. Ooh, I had knight d4. Knight d4 was just good last move. I was winning an exchange. I think I got to bring this back now. Might have to pull the bishop back to f8. Miss knight d4, winning the exchange outright, but all right, let's just stay solid, stay calm. Oh, no. I let him coordinate. Yeah, h8 is killer. I think that's just over. Yeah, I don't have a good defense. Resign. I either lost on time or resigned, but yeah. Ooh, I let him coordinate. That one, I just missed a big chance right here. Knight d4, win the exchange. Fork on the queen and the rook. He's still going to have some compensation after he moves his queen. I take on e2. Like, my dark squares are weak, but that was just a free win of an exchange with tempo, too. Didn't dawn on me in this position that after queen d4, he's actually just threatening bishop c3 and checkmate at the same time. Not much I can do about that. Yeah, I think in this position, I'm just completely lost. Queen g7. If I have to play f6, that's not going to work. So, yeah. Oh, man. I know, Jordan. The fork. The fork got me. As in, I didn't find it. Yeah, I saw it immediately after I played f4, too. f4 was always a move I was thinking about playing just to bother him with this idea, but yikes. Yeah, knight d4. In fairness, Tal blundered huge with rook d8, rook b3 in the last game. All right, it's 3-3, guys. Let's keep going. Keep on grinding. I might mix it up this game. You know what? Let's play knight f3 on move 2. Oh, and now he does this. Okay. Well, let's play c4. Play some QGD position. Yeah, he takes. I think I recall Tal playing this way as well. I think I've seen a game where he's done this before. I'm going to play this super duper safe and check because I don't want to run into preparation with e4 or e3, and I have not looked at this line in such a long time. I almost just don't know what to do after this because normally I don't play knight f3 on move 2. So I'm avoiding his knowledge with this move and playing a bit of a cowardly move just to get the pawn back with queen takes c4 next, but it's a practical decision. I don't want to be facing him blitzing off moves for the next several moves. And he seems to be thinking as soon as he has like an original decision to consider, so that's good. This also is a very important game. So we got to take here. I think he might go for a quick c5. Very possible. And again, we're kind of in a similar Nimzo type situation. Like it very well could transpose almost, right? I feel like now I should play like a prophylactic queen move. He's going to try for b5 followed by c5. Very quick. e4, b5, queen b3, c5. Something like that. e5, take on d4. Okay, let's play bishop g5. So try to create some problems for him with this pin. Maybe a rook over to d1 could be helpful. Here I could try queen c6, but I'm not liking my queen. I don't feel fully comfortable with it over there. So now if he plays d5, I was considering this move. Might be kind of crazy to do that, but it is something to look at. Okay, let's play this rook over. Just try to frustrate him down the file a bit. He might still play c5, though. He could still go ahead and do that, couldn't he? He's going to throw in h6 first, so let's go here. Got to get my development working. Be confident. That's right, Hanif. Never give up in these matches. We're an hour into the match. I feel like e3 is virtually forced here. Just trying to complete my development. Bishop e2 and castles. Still wondering if he's going to go for c5 or not. That answers that question. Okay. Kind of thinking I should just let him take on d4 now. Yeah, let's just develop. Try to get castled ASAP. He goes c4. Sharp. Okay. I would not have expected that, but I can see the value in doing so. I can fully understand why he played that way. He's got a majority on the queen side now. The game is going to sharpen up here. His majority versus my queen side, or my center majority, I should say. It might be tough to arrange e4, e5, however. I'm not going to get that in for free. I always got to watch out for him playing b4, kicking my knight away. In fact, he could try that right now if he wanted. Okay, he's just going to play it a little conservative. I feel like I should just castle. I'm going to do that. And maybe continue with e4 next move. Oh, he's going to break in the center first. Okay, interesting. So take, knight d4 is an idea I'm looking at. Bishop g3 is another one. d5 also possible. Now let's take, though. Let's take and do this. Maybe I can get him to play g6, which is a bit weakening. If g6, I'm thinking perhaps e4. Trying to prop up knight d5 and maybe even f4 and e5. He's really low on time. 30 seconds for Tal. Knight f5 is a big threat. He's got to avoid that. Yeah, so let's immediately play this move. Just put him under pressure again. Make him think about how to deal with my coming pawn storm. Okay, so he's going to let me play that, huh? f4, e5 seems to win material. As far as I can tell, let's do it. He's got less than 10 seconds left. Okay, now he's threatening stuff on h2, but I have knight f3. Also, I was thinking just bishop g3 here. Knight f3 is no good, so probably bishop g3. Yeah, and now this. Go back to e5. It's a bit annoying, I'm not going to lie. But clearly we're trying for the win here. I need to get in bishop f3 if I can. Let's take that guy. Go attack his h6 pawn. I think I can take it. Seems a little greedy, but probably okay. Here, take. Hope this is all right. He plays his queen back. Interesting. Knight g5, though? Let's play it safe here. Well, I'm so low on time, too. Knight g5 is looking good. Threaten this guy, too. Just going to go after this pawn, basically. Check. Take that. And now we're winning. Whew. Okay, so we got him in the center with this e4 and then f4 and e5 idea, setting those pawns in motion. Let's go back and see where that was. So right here, Tal played e5, and I feel like that's a risky move. Maybe he should just castle instead because his position looks perfectly fine. He just tried to initiate action in the center a little quick. e5, take here. And now I've got knight f5 threatened. So he tried to stop that with this. And I think the key, if I'm going to bust him here, I was looking at some aggressive stuff like taking on b5, but I think the key is to get my pawns going quick. So I did this. And yeah, the threat of f4 is difficult. Because if he plays g5 to try to control f4 and also kick my bishop, then he's running into knight f5 again. So, all right. Whew. All right, so it's 4-3. We have black this next game. We really got to focus. Let's do this thing. Let's see if he sticks with d4 if he does something else. He seems pretty good about that line. He seems willing to repeat that, so I might want to... Maybe I should play knight f6 on move 3 this time around instead of playing bishop f5. Maybe I throw him just a mild curveball to get him thinking a little bit. When I get him thinking in the opening, he's giving me chances because he's getting in time pressure. I don't think there's been any draws. Yeah, there's been no draws. All decisive games so far. The bloodletting is real. Is he there? Is he going to move? Oh, bathroom break, he said. Okay. Well, I guess he came back. So let's see if he goes to e3 again. He does. All right, so I'm going to play knight f6 this time around. I'm not going to mess around with bishop f5 anymore. Even though I think bishop f5 is good, I just keep running into that same position. I think my chances are better if I can get an original position, especially since we're in a decisive stage of the match. Okay, so let's play knight bd7. I'm not going to take here yet. We're just going to develop. And now he takes. Let's take this way. Is he going to go f4? And no, he's going to do something original. Yeah, I haven't seen this before. Yeah, maybe he's preparing for f3 and e4 in the middle game. So I got to think how I'm going to combat that already. Tal is quite good with these setups, I know. Bishop d6 is possible. Bishop d6, f3 though. Okay, let's just play bishop e7. Not going to get caught thinking too much in the opening. Can't do that. And I think f3 is coming, is his point. Yeah, there he goes. So maybe c5, because I know c5 to be a good way to combat this type of idea. You put pressure on d4 so that if they ever play e4, they're weakening that pawn. Okay, c5, he plays queen there. Interesting. I'm going to play rook e8, maybe for this idea. A6 perhaps? Yeah, let's go a6. Not sure what this whole queen f2 maneuver is about. Is he going to play g4 somewhere? I don't know. Okay, let's play b5. I'm going to put my bishop on b7. I'm going to hold off on knight f8 for the time being. Maybe I don't have to play that yet. I don't fully understand what he's going for with this whole idea. Haven't had a Scandy all day, guys. He hasn't played e4. Thank you for the Team Scandy support, though, and love. All right, I feel my position's reasonable now. He can always take on c5 if he wants, though. He seems to be trying to postpone any decision with the pawns. Well, there he goes. Okay, so now he took. I feel like taking with the bishop is going to be correct here. On knight takes, I hit this bishop right away, though. Let's take with the bishop. I want my knight bound for e5, I think. Maybe I can get queen b6 going if he puts a knight on d4. It's very possible. So knight e5. Knight e5, he can take on h7. Let's play this here. Weakening his squares like d3 and c3 a bit with what he's doing. I want to strike this game. I want to win this. Bishop all the way back. Rook c8 looks normal now. Yeah, let's do that. Gain a tempo on the knight. I've got the isolated d-pawn, but I feel my pieces are arrayed very nicely. I like the way this is playing out. He's got a bit of a decision where to put this bishop. If he puts it on b2, then I feel like his e3 pawn becomes weak. All that being said, I mean, okay, now I feel like I should definitely play this move. He's still got pieces pointed against my king, especially that bishop on b1. This move restricts his bishop, though, so I like it. Knight takes e3, probably not working. g6, maybe a decent move. Yeah, let's play g6. Just try to keep a piece out of f5. He's going to advance on the queen side. Okay, so pivots a little bit. Let's take that. I'm going to attack e3, I think. But what about knight f5? Nah, I'm not worried about knight f5 yet. Knight f5, I think I can actually even just move my queen. Like, let's say he plays knight gf5 here. I don't want to take twice because then he has queen g3. So I think knight f5, I just play queen d7. My knight on c4 is really helpful restricting his dark square bishop. I like that a lot. Can't play rook e1 here. I just take on d4. That's a piece. I still have to keep knight f5 in mind, though. That's a dangerous attacking idea. He could spring that at almost any time. And he's going to try it. So let's do this. Oh, maybe queen h4 now. Queen h4 is possible. I can play bishop back to d8, though. Yeah, let's do this. Oh, no. No, 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 no. He has queen h6. Yikes, queen h6. Maybe it's not working for him, though. I don't know. I can go here. Then go pick up his rook, I guess. g4, queen takes d4. Take bishop f6. He has almost no time to figure it out, fortunately for me. He's going to go for it. Okay, so let's do this. Man, what now? Knight e5, perhaps? Knight e5. Yeah, let's do knight e5. Trying to open up the rook on c1. Against c1, that is. Now this. So I can go take his bishop next move. Puts the bishop there. Oh, he's hanging his queen. Take the queen, John. Okay, that took me a second to figure out. Take the darn queen. Let's keep this closed. Maybe not. Take here, maybe? No, let's take here. Also, rook takes e3 is coming. That should just be winning. Yeah, rook takes pawn now. It's too much. Let's just take this. I don't think we need to do anything else. No mates that I see. Check. Yeah, check is going to be good. King g2, I take on b2 with check. And then everything's falling. Take b1. I think I can just take here. I know he can check and play knight f5, but he's got too much stuff hanging at the end of the day. I'm up so much material now. Let's go take this guy. Yeah, as long as we don't have a time disaster, we're going to win this thing. Whew. Okay, wow. What a roller coaster final game. I know I use that adjective a lot, roller coaster, but in a match against a good player, that's really what happens. So things blew up when I allowed him to play knight gf5. I was commenting on this move. I saw this move. The thing is, I kind of underestimated it. That deserves a quick analysis. I wonder if I click to the analysis board, if you guys are going to be able to see this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the idea with knight gf5 is if I take twice, take, and move the queen somewhere like this. I guess I could play queen f8, but queen d7, he's going to check and get his queen in here. So that's the crux of White's plan with the knight sacrifice. So I was thinking, you know, I can just play the cool, calm, and collected queen d7 move. Then my queen is no longer attacked, and I'm harassing this guy here. I know his knight on f5 is impressive. What I didn't consider is the play that White gets with queen h4. And I honestly think I'm a little fortunate that I wasn't just getting mated here. I have to play knight h5, I think. If I take, he's taking with his knight, and again, queen g7 is too difficult to parry. What also played in my favor is the fact that he had no time. So knight h5, I'm hanging on by a thread as far as my king goes. He might be best off just moving his rook back here. Like, get this rook back to, say, a2 or something. I don't know. Maybe it could even be helpful swinging over this direction. But, yeah, knight h5, g4, and I just decided to go for it. You know what? Like, take here. I'm not sure I even have a choice. When he takes my knight, I have to cover g7, so bishop f6. He goes here. Now he has ideas of crashing through take, take, rook takes, so I need to reinforce the square. I thought briefly about queen d7, but that doesn't really disrupt his idea. I think knight e5 is very timely. Computer has this position as dead equal, but yeah, I mean, with no time for basically him and also with me having very little time, it's just a minefield to walk through. f4 makes a lot of sense, but it allows this idea, knight g4. And, oh, rook takes was even better. Rook takes c1, followed by knight g4, and the queen is trapped. Yeah. And it's funny, you guys probably heard me talking about this. Like, it took me a solid, like, 10 seconds, I'd say, to realize that I can just play knight takes h6 here. So yeah, the idea was to try to deflect his rook from guarding the bishop, and then when he moved the bishop, he didn't address his hanging queen. Now I'm -10. I basically just have to avoid choking completely in this position. Unfortunately, I was able to stamp out his counterplay. I'm sure I didn't play this correctly, but it was good enough. Like, we allow him knight f5, forking the king and the queen, but I'm already ahead by like 2 rooks at this point. Doesn't matter. Wow. So let me just send Tal a quick note here. Oh, okay. Did you guys like that match? What do you guys think of that match? I would venture to say that was the most exciting dual commentary match I've had before, because it was quite close and every game was decisive. See that down here? So of the 8 games, they were all decisive. And I think we were both displaying some resourcefulness and some neat ideas. I had that loss on time. He had that blunder allowing queen takes d8. So there was the fair share of, normal blitz stuff that happens. Huge swings in the evaluation. But yeah, maybe someone can comment who's seen all my dual commentaries, but I think for me as a player, that was the most intense, for sure. And credit to Tal. I mean, you can tell this guy's a gamer because he kept coming at me. He didn't back down. He was displaying some cool ideas in the opening, too. I think I fulfilled my objective in not getting terrible positions out of the opening. I feel overall he was getting slightly better positions. I'd say especially when I was white. I wasn't getting advantages like you would like to with the white pieces. I mean, some of them were small advantages. Something clicked in that second to last game where I was able to get e4, f4, e5 in, but I think he was completely fine, objectively speaking, in that earlier part of the game. Not sure I would have played c4 if I were him in that position. Yeah, thank you guys so much. You guys flatter me. You really do. I am just an IM. I mean, my FIDE rating has been hovering around 2450 for, almost 10 years now. I became an IM in 2006. And I know when I beat GMs and I win these dual commentary matches, not that I've won everyone, like Jan Gustafsson has beat me, but I know it seems like I should be higher rated, but you guys got to bear in mind that blitz and classical over-the-board chess are completely different animals. Like, I have a lot of experience with blitz. I feel pretty comfortable with it. I've beaten good players in blitz. So that doesn't necessarily translate to over-the-board play, because things like opening preparation, technique, constant practice in over-the-board tournaments, those matter a lot more in over-the-board chess versus blitz. Like, blitz, you can kind of make up for some of your deficiencies because there's always the clock issue. So, I really appreciate you guys saying, oh, John, your GM strength, you're crushing GMs, but don't be fooled. Like, there's a reason Tal is 2536 FIDE and I'm like 2450 FIDE. I'm not a checkers GM, no. It would be fun to play checkers. Maybe I'll do a checkers video from time to time. I like playing Go as well. Whew. I didn't even drink half my coffee in this match. I was ready for more. Christian, final score is right down here. It was 5-3 in my favor. So these were the first few games. It was kind of back and forth for the first 5 games or so, 6 games really. And I managed to win the final 2. I will play Ginger GM Simon Williams, and I think he'll be next in the pipeline. You guys have been calling for that match for ages, and I would really like to play that too, because our styles are complete opposites. Simon is an extremely exciting player. He's very creative. He seems to create chaos on the board with every single game that he plays, and every single push of Harry the H-Pawn. So I want to play him because I think it would be a great matchup of styles. Like, I'm more calm and collected. I like to play strategically. I kind of pick my chances and play aggressively only when I think it's in my favor to do so. Whereas Simon Williams, like, he's happy to just create a mess on the board and see what happens. Like, play the position just for the love of creating something unique and unpredictable. So we will do that. And I'm going to be out of town a little bit in October. I'm going to New Orleans, and I'll also be in Las Vegas. Neither one for a tournament, but I'll be in New Orleans for a chess event. If you're in the area, it's I think it's a week from today, actually. So a week from today, I'll be there. And leave a comment on this video if you're in the city. I'll hook you up with the details. And at the end of October, like I think the weekend before Halloween, I will be in Las Vegas. I'm going to a bachelor's party. My buddy is getting married, so we're doing a weekend in Vegas. And I'm sure there will be no chess being played there. But Simon and I, we will try to get this match arranged, hopefully sometime this month, October. If not, like definitely at the beginning of November. We'll come up with something. I hope not, Ridix. Play more blitz tournaments. We'll see. We'll see, Akil. A match with Eric Hansen would be great. I would be a heavy underdog in that match because Eric, as someone pointed out, is 2,600 FIDE. Moreover, he's a blitz and bullet specialist. I mean, he's very good with fast time controls, as you can see from the numerous Chess Bra streams and YouTube videos. So I would play that. I would definitely play him, though, because I think it would be a fun match. And again, like even if I lose, it's always instructive. So I want to get practice in, too. John, did you read Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual? Yes, I did. Not all the way through, but I've read a good portion of it. And Mark Dvoretsky, the very famous trainer, he unfortunately passed away this past week at the age of 68. And it's very sad whenever that happens, like a notable figure in chess. But Dvoretsky in particular, I feel, had such a big impact on so many chess players. You could just see from all the tweets pouring in, if you guys are on Twitter, like so many people were tweeting, rest in peace, Mark Dvoretsky, talking about his books. I've got several of them on my shelf here. Positional Play, Secrets of Chess Tactics, Secrets of Chess Technique. His school, what's it called? School of Future Champions, I think. He has a newish series that came out in the past like 10, 15 years. And of course, his Endgame Manual, probably, I would say, it's fair to say, the best book on chess ever written. There's so much you can learn from that one particular text. And I know that's highly debatable, but in my book, that's one of the best, Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual. It's not a book I often recommend because it is very high level, but for a good player, like they will just extol the virtues of that particular book. So yeah, really sad to see that Mark Dvoretsky passed away, but he left a legacy in chess, and I think as a chess player, chess trainer, that's pretty much the pinnacle of what you can achieve in this game, that you leave a legacy and that other future players are learning from your efforts. Nope, never played the crab opening, George. Not sure, Stefan. Probably not. I will probably not be going to the London Chess Classic. What do you drink all the time when you're streaming? Mostly water or coffee. If I'm streaming in the morning, coffee for sure. But I've been trying to drink less coffee in general, so I don't usually drink it like in the evenings. So I'd say water. When did you become an IM? Already answered. 2006, Akil. John, what are your thoughts on the Women's Chess Championship? Yeah, so there was a big controversy recently because Iran was awarded the Women's World Championship. And it's this big, I believe, knockout-style tournament. And there was a lot of controversy because in Iran they have the mandatory hijab. Females in Iran must wear the hijab as mandated by Iranian law. And I don't know if that was to apply to the participants in the tournament, but regardless, not many, but a few participants like Nazi Pakidze, the current U.S. women's champion, she took to Twitter and was talking about how she was not going to play this event because she thought issues related to women's rights were a bigger issue than a chess tournament, and she didn't want to play in a country that, in her opinion, supported the oppression of women's rights. That's my basic understanding of the issue. And there's been a lot of spin-off discussions of what that means as far as sexism in chess and why we tend to be backwards as a community of chess players. I gotta say though, FIDE has a history of doing this type of thing. Like, I don't think they really put too much thought into where tournaments will be organized. As long as the organizers can come up with money and it's financially viable, FIDE will hold a tournament virtually anywhere. So, I mean, FIDE can go to like one of the most brutal dictators ever, and if that dictator will put up the money, like chances are decent they'll put a major event there. Maybe I exaggerate, but I wouldn't put anything past FIDE. So I got to do a little more research into this whole controversy, but it is a big issue right now, and you can read about it. Various news outlets, many of the major news outlets in Europe and the US have picked this up, and it's quite a story. On Reddit the other day, it was like the #1 story on the entire site. It had like 10,000 upvotes. I definitely support the right of the players to protest. So I think if you have a personal issue, then of course you should not play in a country that you feel does not extend rights to other people, other women especially. How many tournaments have you won? Good question. I don't know. Maybe 30 to 40 in my entire chess career. I'm not sure. Where do you hold your trophies? I actually got rid of a lot of trophies. I had a ton from my scholastic career, and I had to get rid of them because they were taking up so much space. So I actually donated some of them to get them back into circulation. But I have a few in that closet back here, actually. You guys can't really see it, but that closet that has my board, I've got a few trophies in there. We'll see, Valentine. He's asking about playing with subscribers. Yeah, I know some of you have asked about a stream like that. We'll see at some point. Do you often raise your right eyebrow like that? Yeah, sorry, Anime. That's just a habit I have when I'm talking about something. Tuber game, that's a really specific question, how to improve as an 1800. So my default answer for that is you're kind of at a rating where it's hard to give you general advice. If you're 400 or 500 points lower, I could say various things like play more standard games, solve tactics regularly, which still apply, but you're kind of at a rating level where you might need more specific advice. So I hesitate to say something like that. Do you live with your parents? No, I do not. I've had this place, my own place, for the past 3 years, and I have no roommates. My parents do live across town, though. They live like 10 minutes away, which is great. I get to go see them whenever I want. Will Magnus win in November? I think he will, yes. Do you sometimes regret not being able to focus on your own play as much due to your teaching occupation? Sometimes, Elliot, yeah, it is a struggle to find time to dedicate to my own play and study, but I enjoy teaching so much, and I feel I have a much greater impact this way, so I'm kind of content with what I'm doing. I would love to make Grandmaster, but I also recognize that I need to put in the work to do that. So, yeah, sometimes I regret that, but just like anything in life, I mean, whatever you devote time to, you have to take time away from other things. So I'm confident with what I'm doing, and no major regrets, let's say. It would be nice if I could just drop everything and go play tournaments for a while, but maybe at some point I will. I feel like I've got a lot of years left where I can still play good chess. Only 30 years old. Do you play blindfold OTB? No. Play Chess Network. Yeah, not going to happen. I would love to, but Chess Network does not play other people. Other streamers, that is. Do you have a day job? Nope, chess is my job. Been doing this full time for about 5 years now, I think. Teaching. Are you going to New York for the championship? You know, I've said I am, but I really got to get on that. I got to start looking at stuff. My other trips that I'm taking in October have been distracting me a little bit. So, yeah, I got to get on that. Do you have a girlfriend? Not at the moment, Adrian. John, have any of your students defeated you? Yes. Yes, they have. I think only one student of mine. His name is Andrew Tang. He's an IM from here in Minnesota. I don't teach him anymore. He's actually a little stronger than me rating-wise now. He's like 2465 FIDE. But he beat me in the very first OTB game that we played. And this was shortly after I started teaching him. And he was like 22 something at the time, USCF. So it was kind of embarrassing. I was afraid his dad was going to fire me as a coach because his son just beat his trainer in the first game they played. But fortunately, that didn't happen. We worked together for a few years. And in the process, I've played and beat him a few more times. So I have a positive record against him now, but he is very strong. He's our most promising player here in the state. And he's only, I believe, 16 years old, 16 or 17. And he has great chances to make Grandmaster, I think, in the next couple years if he keeps going the way he is. He has 2 norms. So I'd love to see Andrew become a Grandmaster. Are you currently accepting students? You can email me about lessons, Mike. I have a waiting list. So I'm not taking new students at the moment, but if you're interested, go to my About page here on YouTube, and you can get my email address, send me an email, and I'll tell you the details, and you can see if you want to get on my waiting list or not. 30 years old, Arthur. Who's the strongest player you have ever played against? Wesley So. Yeah, Wesley So. I played him twice over the board tournaments here in Minnesota. So, yeah, it's going to be hard to top him. I played Nakamura before, but I don't think he was like top 10 in the world when I played him. He was very good, but not quite top 10. Yeah, the match is over, Malcolm. But you can watch this. I'm going to post this archive version as soon as I kill this stream. How many students do you have today? Today, I'm not teaching anyone. Taking it easy on Saturday with this stream. I'll try to do that, Dan. Yeah, more climbing the rating ladder games. I want to do that. Have you ever caught I Am Danny in your closet trying to steal Scandy secrets? No, fortunately. Yes, Shreyas, I will try to make more Lichess Bullet Arena videos. As I was explaining earlier in this stream, I was having some issues with Lichess and my recording software. They weren't getting along. And I think it was my recording software fault. I'm almost positive. But that seems to be resolved. So I do hope to make some more Bullet Arena videos. Blitz Arena, maybe. The sun is like right in my eyes. It's super annoying. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to wrap this stream up. Thank you so much for tuning in. There are even still almost 500 people watching. Tremendous turnout. Really, really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for taking the time out on your Saturday. I know you could do anything with this time on the weekend, but I hope Tal and I put on a good match. It was a lot of fun to play, and you guys seem to like it. So feel free to play back through these games. And like I said, the stream will be up again. It'll be archived, posted immediately after, so you can go back and play back all the action if you happen to miss something. And I look forward to playing Simon Williams in the future. That's going to be the next dual commentary chess rivals big match that I'll be participating in. So really appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. And I will talk to you later. And thanks to Tal as well and Lichess for hosting the match. All right. Bye, guys.